They're stories about unlocking human potential. We're building leverage for the human mind. We're not just shaping our AI, we're co-evolving with it. As AI becomes more capable, it changes how we think, how we approach problems, and what we believe is possible. So how do we navigate this new era? Hello, Sebasi fans. One of the most rewarding parts of working in AI is seeing the moment it changes someone's life. Recently, a user of NotebookLM, our AI-powered research assistant, shared with me that their daughter, who had always struggled in school, had started to use it to study complex new subjects. For the first time, she was getting grades that she was proud of. Another user told me that the confidence they gained using NotebookLM led them to finally apply for their dream master's degree. Now, these aren't stories about faster processing or better code. They're stories about unlocking human potential. They remind us that we aren't just building technology, we're building leverage for the human mind. 안녕하세요. I'm Simon Tokumiene. I'm a director at Google Labs, where my team and I explore the frontiers of AI, working on projects like NotebookLM and others. At Google Labs, we experiment with bold ideas about the future of knowledge, creativity, and work. But we're not just chasing novelty for its own sake. We're driven by a core belief. We're moving beyond the era of AI as a mere tool. A tool is passive. You pick it up, you use it, you put it down. We're entering an era of AI as a collaborator, an active partner that anticipates, suggests, and elevates human capability. And today, I want to explore what that partnership can look like and how it's reshaping what we can all achieve. So we believe AI can do two things. It can raise the floor by making difficult tasks accessible to everyone. And it can also raise the ceiling, helping experts achieve breakthroughs that they just couldn't do before. First, let's look at raising the ceiling. So most general AI models today are trained on the entire internet. They know what everyone knows. But the most meaningful challenges we face often rely on information only we know. Our research, our experiences, our unique context. This insight led us to create NotebookLM. We asked, well, what if the AI could be grounded entirely in your specific business or personal context? A notebook doesn't draw from the general internet. It studies only the materials you give it. Research papers, transcripts, notes. And it becomes an expert on your project. It doesn't just summarize, it synthesizes, it critiques, and it brainstorms with you, within the guardrails of your own information. This ability to collaborate within a specific context, I think it can unlock profound creativity. So consider Stephen Johnson, a friend and a well-known author and the editorial director for NotebookLM. He was working on a massive history book about the California gold rush. We were chatting about his work, and he was saying he had mountains of research, thousands of notes, but he was completely stuck. He had all the facts, he had all the information, but he didn't have structure. He didn't have a compelling narrative. So he uploaded all of his research into NotebookLM and gave it a highly abstract but creative prompt. He asked the AI, hey, can you structure this book using exponential timescales? Start with 1,000,000 years before the gold rush, then 1,000 years before, right down to the day before. This isn't a request for facts. It's a request for a creative architecture. Instantly, NotebookLM synthesized his sources and mapped out a complete narrative arc from the geological formations of gold millions of years ago, right down to the human drama on the eve of the conflict. So in 30 minutes, Stephen went from being blocked to having a complete, sophisticated, creative blueprint. Now, NotebookLM, it didn't write the book, but it provided the conceptual scaffolding. I think this is true collaboration. It raised the ceiling on his creativity. So we have AI that can think alongside us. But the next evolution is AI that can act on our behalf. Until now, AI mostly answered questions or generated content, but we're now entering a phase where AI can understand a high-level goal and execute the complex steps to achieve it. At Google Labs, we're exploring this with prototypes like Project Mariner. Project Mariner is designed to be an agent that doesn't just retrieve information, but it completes tasks by understanding your context across different applications in the browser. So let's make this real. Imagine that you're planning a complex family dinner for a holiday. You have a recipe open in a document, and you're checking off ingredients in your kitchen. But then you realize you're missing half of what you need. Now, normally, this is a tedious process, making a list, going to the store, searching for each item, adding it to the shopping cart. Well, this is where Project Mariner steps in. It can look at your working recipe document, identify what you've marked as missing, and then go to the online grocer and shop for you. It finds the items, cross-references your list, decides what size of item to buy, and presents you with a completed shopping cart ready for checkout. Now, what Mariner did was link your context, your recipe doc, to action, online shopping, to achieve an outcome, a completed cart. And this is what we call human-agent interaction. It's not just a tool. It's a partner that understands your intent and actively helps you achieve it, freeing up your mental energy for what matters most, perhaps actually enjoying the cooking. So when we look at AI synthesizing complex creative structures like NotebookLM, or taking proactive, context-aware action like Project Mariner, the word tool, it feels a bit inadequate. A hammer, it doesn't understand your blueprint. A spreadsheet doesn't anticipate your goals. We're building something more. We're building collaborative intelligence. And like any true collaboration, it's changing both partners. Both partners need to adapt. We're not just shaping our AI, we're co-evolving with it. As AI becomes more capable, it changes how we think, how we approach problems, and what we believe is possible. So how do we navigate this new era? Well, the good news is, it doesn't require everybody to become an AI engineer. It just requires us to become better collaborators. AI is becoming incredibly adept at handling the how, the complex execution of tasks, but this places a greater emphasis on the essential human skill, defining the why, clarity of intent, deciding what is truly worth doing is more critical than ever. You all listening and watching today, the leaders, the innovators, the creators here in Korea, are the ones who define that intent. Korea has always been at the forefront of technical adoption and innovation. Every time you use AI to ask a more ambitious question or test a radical new idea, you're actively shaping what meaningful human-AI collaboration looks like. Now, AI is becoming a mirror reflecting our potential and a partner challenging us to reach higher. At Google, we're excited to build these collaborators, and we're even more excited to see how you will use them to shape the future. 감사합니다.